every person in India is a selector. When I'm saying, oh, this guy is so good, this guy is so good. How could he have made this one?
All three formats, we might not have won the World Cups, like Ben said, that it has got postponed and got into the other people's hands, But it is Virat who built the winning culture in the side.
It's not that about you're not good. It's just that you and me here are not coming into the right combination.
Correct.
So it's not, sometimes we criticize the other person whom we are asking them to do, but it's not about that. It's just something about their karma and their sanskar which is not right for this place or not fitting right for this place. And maybe they're going to go into the next place and create magic over there.
To take the example of Mohammad Siraj, he's a son of an auto driver. He's never seen a daylight of cricket. And this kid goes on to become #1 bowler in ICC one-day rankings.
This is the game of life. Yeah. They say the only certainty in life is uncertainty.
See, in order to buy Virat's intent or Virat's interest or Mahendra Singh Dhoni's attention, it's not easy. They don't trust people just like that.
You prioritize your karma above your achievement. You prioritize your principles and ethics above your achievement. I'm ready to let go of this, but not ready to let go of this. This is success. This is only achievement.
People go through these journeys, right? And then they face challenges, right? Like in selection, being rejected is a big thing.
Our job is cut out to select players, not to unselect players.
A very warm welcome to another edition of the ThinkRight Podcast. And with us, we have here today M.S.K. Prasad, the renowned cricket name in the world for India, who has not only played cricket as a wicketkeeper, a batter for the country, but also has been the national selector for the Indian cricket team through 2016 and 2020, a time when there was this transition between Dhoni and Virat Kohli, and has seen so much in the world of cricket. Himself, being a great cricketer, runs academies now, and spends a large part of his time also helping mentally challenged children, do so much good. What a career, what a life, M.S.K. And we're going to go into all of that and really understand what it takes to really be able to bring out the best potential in people when it comes to sports, it comes to, mental strength and so many other aspects. And of course, to help us and guide us through this wonderful journey, we have with us our ever radiant, ever inspiring, and I can go on using different words, Sister Shivani. So very warm welcome to both of you. M.S.K., maybe we'll start with you to, go through a little bit of your journey, right? Because every young person in India today, when they watch people on television, they see cricket, they say cricket is a religion and whatever you want to call it in India, there's so much behind the power of cricket for India. So many things happen. How did you get into cricket and how did you get to where you did, right? It'd be lovely for our audiences to know a little bit about your journey.
That's an interesting question because I come from a place where if a boy is born, he has to become an engineer. And if a girl is born, she has to become a doctor. So I'm little left over in the society according to them. So I don't know, because first time when I saw a cricket match, I saw Syed Kirmani keeping wickets. Unfortunately, he missed a stumping in that game because he's known for his quick flash stumpings and brilliant catches and all. But on that particular day, I saw him missing a stumping. I don't know, something clicked in my mind. There will be a day where I'll do that stumping for the country. That's how my journey has began. And it was tough because more than for me, it's my father and my parents who had a lot of backlash from the society, because every day they used to, they say that, your son is always in the ground. What is he going to do if he doesn't succeed? So all kinds of stuff my parents have to go through from the neighbors. But somehow deep down, my parents always believed that I had something in me, and one fine day, just like any other middle class people, we were all sitting on a dining table and my father asked me, he knows that what is going to get the answer from me. So he asked my sister, what do you want to become? She said that doctor. Then my elder brother, what do you want to become? Engineer. Then silently asked me the third question. What do you want to become? I said, cricketer. He said, why? Because I feel that, I can represent the country. I don't know why that word came out of my mouth. Then my father said that, forget representing for the country. People from Guntur are finding it difficult to represent Andhra. How do you aspire to become? And nobody has ever played for the country from Andhra.
Oh, nobody had
ever played before. Then I said that if nobody has ever played, there's somebody who's gone onto the space. Somebody has gone onto the moon for the first time. So is your son. He will definitely go on to play, and he will be the first cricketer from Andhra to play for the country. And that happened.
Yeah, amazing. So you affirmed it. You had it in your mind. And I'm now going to move to Sister Shivani. How does that happen? And we see this in so many of our conversations, right? That most people, or most times, we think that our state of mind has to represent our situation around. And, we are all, so to say, victims of the circumstances. And he could have very well said engineer and then, started getting his mind attuned that engineer is what I should be. To these stories where you say what you want to, and then suddenly everything around you, the situation becomes so that you can. So, there is definitely some law and some science, and so many people we speak to see this working out. So, take us a little bit through this.
Most important thing is it's the journey of the soul. The father is looking at 2 boys, 1 girl. So he's looking at his 3 children. And he can only know the journey of those children from the time they were born in his family. So he's looking at the children, he's seen the way they're growing up, he's seen how they're thinking. But they're not 3 children. They're 3 souls on a journey. They've had a past. They're coming from many lifetimes. So each one is already bringing a lot inside them. So sometimes what we innately feel like doing, where there's no logic to it, where there is opposition to it also, where there's a big fear of even not making it there, but it is something which was recorded earlier, which is pushing us towards doing that. So even if you look at it logically, you'll say like, I don't know why I'm doing this, but I want to do this. So whether you call that intuition, whether you call it your instinct, it's also something to do with your past karma, which is recorded there, which is actually pushing you. But now it's going to be a blend of what was recorded in the past with you actually having the courage to listen to that voice and then putting in the effort in your present karma to then make it your reality. Because many people would have that feeling of this, but then to stand alone, even when nobody else around you is doing it, to face all that backlash, like he said. And of course, then when he's coming from a small town where no one has done it, it mustn't have been easy even after the decision was taken. And if you're coming from a simple middle-class family, the financial resources, the everything. So all that is the present karma. So we are a combination of our past karma, and then we're a combination of our past karma with our present karma. So it's like your opening balance sheet in this year, financial year, is a reflection of your closing balance sheet. So his opening balance sheet can say, even if they would have asked an astrologer when he was born, it must be there in his destiny chart, कि आपका बच्चा ऐसे करेगा, ऐसे करेगा. But in your present financial year, what's the effort that you're putting in? So everything is not what's written in the chart. What is written in the chart is your past, which you carried. Largely responsible is your present karma. So he's had that perfect combination of having got it from the past, put it in the present, and of course the support of the parents. Very, very important to trust the intuition of what the child is saying. But a lot of effort would have gone into making this into a reality. It can't just happen with a thought. But yes, that thought is your affirmation. So you're feeling it, now you make it your affirmation and say, this is going to happen. That affirmation keeps you grounded in times of uncertainty, in times of when you can logically see it's not happening, but you've kept that affirmation there. It does not allow your mind to create doubts. Situations outside don't look very feasible, but your mind does not create a doubt because you have been affirming it on a daily basis. So that's where affirmations will really help to sail through those times which don't look favorable. So that's that perfect combination that's got created.
And I think parents, today need to understand this, right? I think, as we talk to audiences, we have so many parents who are probably hearing this. And so many children must be saying, I want to become a cricketer. I say, Arey, pehle padhai karo, first do. It's so natural a conversation in an Indian household, what you said. And it's funny because I'm sure it happens in the best, families of affluence. It happens in, tier 2, tier 3 cities. It happens in other places. So then after that, what happens? So you told him, I'm going to become a cricketer. And then?
So, what happened was during that journey, I think it was a tough journey, but I had a wonderful guru. His name is Mr. Purnachandra Rao sir. He's my first coach. I went to, and we were just playing a small school game. I did some 6 jumpings in that game. I was a very natural wicket keeper. So,
See, 1 minute. This is where that word is. It's a natural wicket keeper. From where is the person a natural wicket keeper? That is a past birth sanskar. Where you haven't put that much effort and become that, it's like any sanskar. You know how we carry our sanskars? So some children are very caring. Some children are like this. They won't share with anybody. Some children will go easily to other people. Some children will stick to their parents. These are sanskars that they have carried from their past life. So when he's saying, I was a natural wicket keeper, which means he's done a lot of it and come. And so it will just come to you as if it is like we see sometimes children come to the center. In fact, just day before yesterday, there was this child in her lap, 3-4 years old. And I just come from there walking. I don't know either of them. And he just stands up and he says, Om Shanti Ben. And I was like, who said this? Because it was not being said by a 4-year-old child. I was like very clear with the energy. After that, how many ever times I tried to say to him, Om Shanti Bolo Bolo, he couldn't say it. He couldn't say it. It was like he was fumbling. It was as if it was a new word for him. But when he first saw me, he just stood out from his lap and he said, Om Shanti Behen. Yes, and he didn't say just Om Shanti. He says Om Shanti Behen, which is a vocabulary of what we would talk within the ashram. After that, he was not able to say it. It just came as like one of the songs played from his past recording over there. So this is when that word is. So when we say parents should be able to see it, it's not just somebody getting up and saying, I want to be a cricketer. Do you really have it? Then the strength to go through all that. So it's not that the parents can always just accept what the child is saying. The child is just influencing by what they're watching on media and saying, I want to play a cricketer. That balance would always have to be there. Otherwise, they'll say, okay, don't study and be a cricketer. And then that child is not able to do it. So you have to see so many things in the child. So this natural thing is coming from past life karma.
Oh.
So you've done wicket keeping in your past life also.
Or was it an unfulfilled dream in the past?
Unfulfilled. Why should we say unfulfilled? You've played it. So it just comes as if you've done it before. Like we see in children. No, for some children, playing an instrument comes natural when they're child. For some child, computer comes natural, even though they've not been taught in their present life. It's a skill which they've carried with them on the soul.
Yeah. And then you just became wicketkeeper, right? Suddenly situations changed and
So I went there for a cricket academy. One of my best friend, his name is Munir Ahmad, my classmate. He said that you're doing wicket keeping so nicely. Why don't you come for coaching? Actually, in a way, that was a relief for me. Because some way or the other, I used to get beatings in the house. Because I was the naughtiest fellow. So I thought that, okay, 3 hours of no beating. So I went to coaching. And first day, a coach he put 2 cones of maybe 10 meters wide. And he hit some 20 catches. Not even one catch I left. And it was as if the ball is attracting like a magnet into my gloves. So that day evening, our coach calls Andhra Cricket Association Secretary, Mr. N. Venkatrao, sir. He called and I said that, Mr. Venkatrao, you told me that you're finding very difficult to find an international product from Andhra. Just wait for 10 years. We'll see one playing for the country. These are his words.
in one day.
One day with 20 catches, he told. And that's how we started my coaching. And, with every passing day, I started collecting material, hey, this, that, and all. Because my coach left, he got transferred and left. So it was just watching TV, watching people play. And I was trying to imitate them. Unfortunately, we didn't have a proper coaching system and all. So whatever we see on TV, next day we used to visualize and we used to keep on practicing, imitating them. So that's how journey started. And can you believe my working hours started at 3:45. 3:45 to 4:45 was my training period. Nobody on the roads.
In the morning.
In the morning.
Some children will take it as afternoon, so we'll have to specify it's AM.
So we had a ring road in Guntur, which is 10 km.
Ocean is the best.
Yeah, 10 km is the ring road. And every day I used to run 10 km with improper shoes. That doesn't matter. What mattered was, I want that chilly weather hitting me early in the morning. So so I used to finish by 4:45, come back home, then take bath, and then start going for coaching. By the time I'm there, I was the first kid to reach that coaching center, but they didn't know that I've already finished my fitness. So, in fact, fitness was like a meditation for me because I'm with my own breath. I'm controlling my breath. I'm exceeding my breath. So, if I can run 10 kilometers in next time I have to reduce by x-1, x-2. Like that, I was able to reduce myself the time. So that built the speed endurance also in me. So I was always, probably at that point of time, I was trying to push myself, saying that if you do it in less seconds, you will play for the country. If you do less seconds, you will play for the country. Ben was trying to tell about affirmations. That's how I used to train or tune my mind. So nothing would have stopped my mind from reaching that particular goal. Or, during that 10 kilometers, I would have said maybe 1,000 times inside that if I can do it a little quicker, then. So that's how I pushed myself, played through several age group cricket and all. I had plenty of, by the time I reached 16, I became one of the best in the country. BCCI awarded me with a lot of scholarships. And actual journey started after that. From 16 to 19, people started comparing me with Sachin because I was born on the same day. He was 2 years elder to me, by the way. But so, the way I was performing, they started comparing me. The comparison has loaded so much on me that my whole performance has gone down. From under 16 to under 19, I never scored a single century. And I literally went into depression. I really wanted to stop playing cricket.
Oh, that bad.
That bad. And my parents were crying, looking at me because I lost more than 15-20 kgs of weight. I was literally looking like a skeleton. So for 6 months, I just gave my bat, everything, hanged my shoes and everything. That's when my coach, who again got transferred to Guntur, he came and said that, how the hell you're looking like this? Why the hell you're looking like this? He said that, sir, I've disappointed you. You had so much aspirations on me, I disappointed you. And I said that, what happened? That I'm not able to live up to my expectations and I couldn't perform in the last. Then that's when he said that, just for my sake, as a Guru Dakshina, go for inter-university games. 6 months I never touched bat, went to inter-universities. First game 199, second game 120, third game 100. Suddenly from universities got selected to Ranji to Dilip to India. Next 2 years, just played for the country.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a game, so much of the power of the mind, right? Because what actually completely got you then was not your physical, your capability, it was the mind. So you have this balance between physical, mental, everybody goes through that. Sometimes you have a challenge physically, it affects you mentally, right? Sometimes it's the other way. So how does one balance, or what should be a formula for people who are experiencing that?
Yeah, we were talking yesterday also, because he has an academy and he was sharing that he has children from the age of 5 there in the academy. And so I said, but you all focus only on the physical training, which is of course very important. And he himself said, cricket is so much to be played from here, like any other game. So if they start, inner resilience practices right from that age, where it will come natural to the child rather than starting at 15, 20, or when you've already started playing the game. But if you start that inner resilience programming for the child right from that age, it will come easier for them to cope with pressures. It will come easier for them to remain stable in a situation which is not going their way. Most important, it becomes easier to handle peaks of success, achievement in terms of the world, or a failure or a rejection. It's not that you're not going to feel bad in it, but just the ability to be able to go through it just feels better because you're emotionally fitter. So for any sport, but in fact for everybody, if we keep emotional fitness hand in hand with our physical practices And see now physical practice, 3:45 in the AM, you're running 10 kilometers. So we really put in a lot of time, attention, energy, effort, hard work into physical practice. Emotional fitness, you don't require so much effort and hard work. It's just about putting on priority, integrating a little meditation, a little reflection, a little energizing on a daily basis. I think it'll give you the best of both the things, and just your coping mechanism just gets better. So like he shared that comparing him to someone, so like comparing him to such that became a pressure, and that pressure can just pull you down. So this is something we can avoid if we are taking care of both the things. So that's something which helps. So it should actually be starting in an academy right from the age of 5 is what we discussed yesterday. And it should start in every school actually, right from.
Actually, this is for any sport, but more
for any
cricket also, because the formats have changed. You have tests, you have this. So in especially if you take cricket, why is mental strength a lot more? Is it more important today than the time when you were there? How have things changed?
No, it's been the mental aspect has been utmost priority in cricket ever since cricket was born, because this is not a physically demanding game, just like basketball or just like football or even to an extent your lawn tennis or badminton. It's not so physically. It's because this is a game which is played over a period of time. It doesn't happen in 1 hour, 2 hours. You play 6 hours a day. You play 5 days, like 30 hours. So, I mean, it's actually more to do with mental exhaustion than physical exhaustion, this game. So how to keep your mind fresh throughout this 30 hours makes you that's the difference that makes between a good player and a great player or a legendary cricketer.
But same thing, right? The cricketers also go through, like Mr. Shivani was saying, performance issues, fitness, any athlete, any sports person, up, down. So that time, the mind really comes up, and you've been a national selector, and we'll come to that.
Yeah.
But, when you're picking a person, right, to represent a country, I mean, you were, there to pick at the highest level, and that will come to how you got to that journey. You look at the mental aspects as much as physical.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's very much evident and visible also in cricket, because every ball throws you a different situation. Every pitch, every day, every condition throws you a different this thing. So that's what we see in a player. It's not just about the volume of runs that you get. The situations that the player has gone through, I mean, under which condition that he has excelled. See, when the team is struggling at 50 for 5, and that kid goes on and gets 100, and one more kid gets 100 when the situation is 300 for 3. So relatively, if you see the century that is got under pressure has more weightage compared to the 100 that you got under, easy conditions. So that's how you differentiate. That's how you test a player's mental abilities. Cricket is one thing that, because you can clearly see in every day a different challenge that is thrown. Your body changes, weather changes. Whereas other games, all those things will not come into us. This pitch keeps changing with every passing over. Ball keeps changing. The shine keeps changing. The weather, the air movement, everything keeps changing. So you will see that who can adapt to those conditions, adapt to the formats, is the one who succeeds.
Yeah, this is the game of life. Yeah. Basically, only certainty in life is uncertainty.
Correct.
If you think so. So what's the learning from here? If I'm playing the game of life, all of us are playing it, on a minute to minute. Like this minute now is different from the last minute, and nobody can go back and bring it. Even if we bring it alive, it's now. We are bringing it alive now or the future. I'm asking you a very philosophical, but a crisp way for people to think about their journey of life.
I can just share.
Yeah.
My thing is, I just flow. I'm just going to flow and say, okay. So it's like, we don't know what's going to happen. So like he's saying on the pitch, in a situation also, we don't know what's going to happen, right? We don't know what's going to happen. Even once we are here, this podcast gets planned for like over a month. So many guests will come. This time we will meet this. These are insignificant situations, but still it's a situation where your mind is going to respond to every situation which is not going your way. So you can plan everything. So like you can prepare everything but it's not going to happen exactly the way you want it to be. So along with preparing outside, your mind should be prepared for anything to change any minute and to be comfortable with that change. So that happens when you're not attached to your plan. So detachment in life is what keeps it easy. It's like we create a plan and then the mind is so attached to that plan being perfect. Whether that plan is for an event or whether that plan is for life. Like some children. I have to become that. Like even this, I have to become this. So we meet people who for some reason were not able to achieve what they wanted to achieve. They are not able to handle that. And that can actually lead to a lot of mental health issues. Sometimes they're just not doing anything in life because they don't want to do anything else except for that one thing. So create a plan, put in all your effort, but don't get attached to the plan being the perfect thing in life. Flow with whatever happens with the firm faith that whatever happening is happening right for you. So not like a compromise. Oh, I didn't get this, so I'm doing this. No, this was not meant for me. So it's just your thought that you will create which will change your experience and which will actually change the outcome of the situation also. So some people feel, oh, this is just to, make yourself happy to say, oh, this was not meant for me. It's not like that. We're telling you out of experience that when something doesn't go right or doesn't go your way and you create a thought, this was not meant for me, this was meant for me. And you just welcome that new situation with I'm ready for you and I know you come for me. It will actually take you into a beautiful situation. Beautiful. So create a plan, but don't get attached to it. So yesterday also we were sharing, I said, you create all your affirmations, but at the end you have one affirmation that whatever will happen will be the right thing for me. So even for affirmations that all of us are doing, that's why affirmation here is easier. If I say I'm peaceful, I'm powerful, that's what I will become. If I want to say I will become so and so in terms of an outer achievement, there are a lot of other factors there. So some people say my affirmation didn't work. So we always say affirmation will 100% work in the inner world because there's no other factor. There's only you and your mind. There's no other factor. But when it comes to affirmation in the outer world, I want to become that. I want to reach here. I want to buy this. I want to go there. There are different factors. Every time it might not work out for you. But if you've created the either affirmation along with that, you will remain calm and stable. And if you create this affirmation that everything that happens with me is right, and actually go even one above that and surrender and say, only what is right for me will happen. So sometimes we feel our plan was actually not the right one. And what happened was way above what we had planned. So, but that ability to surrender and say, okay, this is the plan, but that's not invested that this has to work that way. I'm ready for the best one to work out. So that surrender then takes you to a completely different feeling. So one is first detachment and second is surrender. That okay, this is all done, but I'm ready to just drop all this. Whatever is best should happen.
Yeah,
Then
just
that's
want to add to what you said. It's a beautiful thing. I think it's very much relevant. To take the example of Mohammad Siraj, he's a son of an auto driver. He's never seen a daylight of cricket. And this kid goes on to become number one bowler in ICC one-day rankings. I mean, since the parents' issue has come and the aspirations of the kids' issue also has come, it's actually the kids' aspiration which is more important than the parents. Because a lot of parents keep coming to our academy. It's actually parents who are rubbing their dreams onto the kids. So first and foremost thing that when we counsel the parents, the first question we ask is it your child's interest or your interest to put your son into or a daughter into our academy? So, I mean, see, come what may, see, India has got several lakhs of cricketers. How can an auto driver's son, how can a Natarajan, a vegetable vendor's son, still make it to Indian team? It is the strong urge, that strong desire, like what Didi said, that it could be your past thing or your present effort or anything. You can still make it. I think these people are the perfect example, Mohammad Siraj and all. So many kids, when you see in the academy, I can see that when they come to the academy, they come with certain thoughts. But as the time keep going by, their intensity, their vision towards their goals, everything keeps dropping. Of course, as a guru, we keep telling them, but if somebody really wants something desperately from inside, I'm an example. Muhammad Siraj is an example. People laughed at me when I became the chairman of Indian Selection Committee. 600 channels were blasting day in, day out about me. How can
Blasting in what way?
In a negative manner.
How can M.S.K. Prasad go on to become? Can he talk to Dhoni? Can he talk to Virat? Can he talk? Can he do these things? But after 5 years, the best of the lot said that he is one of the best chairmen. So it's
And it was during your time that the Dhoni Virat transition happened and things like that.
exactly. It was not easy to handle things, unless and until you are very, very clear from inside. See, in order to buy Virat's intent or Virat's interest or Mahendra Singh Dhoni's attention, it's not easy. They don't trust people just like that. Unless and until they are very clear about what this person is. That's how you get that buy-in from them. The transition that you're talking about, I mean, the beautiful thing about their relationship, their chemistry is they love each other. They in fact, they have a huge mutual respect to each other. When Virat was going through a tough phase in 2012 or 13, it is MS who supported Virat. So similarly, when MS knows that the beautiful thing about this man is you don't need to tell him. He knows that, so, he knows that his time is up and he wants to pass on the baton to Virat Kohli. The chemistry that, in fact, we had a discussion which we cannot publicly tell what. The way both of them were speaking, it looks like both of them have come from similar womb, one womb. The mutual respect. He said that आप कैप्टन बनेगा तो मैं पीछे से ये करूँगा, ये एंगल से मैं आपको support करूँगा. Man, this is immense. So it made my job so easy. The transition was very natural, very easily. That's how the transition happened. And subsequent to the transition also, the way Mahi supported Virat during his captaincy or his evolvement into a good captain, I think hats off to both of them.
So one thing that comes out from this, it's not what you just train or how you do. It's who you are.
Yeah.
Who you are.
True.
It's not just the training and the coaching and the effort and of course, that's very, very important. But that very underlying element is going to be who you are as a person in terms of your sanskar, your nature. Because it's the person which comes out then in situations like this.
And whenever you meet anyone who has achieved something which is way beyond the capacity of normal humans as we see,
Absolutely.
that one thing comes out very clearly, right? It's that person, it's that who you are is more important than whatever that capability, skill, or whatever you had, right?
So even in his case, too, to become the selector. So that's what it is, the purity of the intent he's saying. So it's person who you are. That has not come from that 1 hour jogging in the morning. So it doesn't come from there. That's your innate sanskar. And that is those innate sanskars which get worked with inner resilience if people want to work on it. But it's the sanskar.
Journey happened from...
I would have been one small story right now. It's an interesting story of S.P. Balasubramanian. He sang more than 50,000 songs. Yeah. So it was 50 years of his singing career. Myself, Anil Kumble, we all went to his house, took a cake. So he cut the cake. So he was singing for everybody. Then I said, "Sir, can I speak to you for a few minutes?" I asked him, "Sir," because as a selector, because we have to see these transitions that you're talking about. "Sir, you are one person. Every decade you see top class singers. After every decade they fade off. Second decade they fade off. So like 5 decades went off, but you're still there. What made you to stay there?" He said, "M.S.K, you're a poor fellow. I don't know anything about singing." He said, "What? What are you talking, sir?" He said, I don't know anything about singing. When I was a civil engineer in Chennai, I was just having a chai near a chai bandi. That guy said that, "Sir, one Muhammad Rafi song is coming and you're humming so nicely. Your voice is very good. Why don't you go to audition that is happening in T Nagar Association or somewhere, cultural association?" I said, "What are you talking? Me singing? No way." But out of insistence from that chai wala, then he went inside. He gave his audition test. He straight away passed. His first two movies were super hit. Actually, journey started there. Without any classical background, SP was a super hit in his first two movies. And that's when he was criticized by the critics and the pundits of Sangeetam and all. He is not following the what do you call the traditional Sangeet. He's a little different from that generation. So what happened was, people started criticizing him. That's when he realized that if I have to survive through the generations, next generation, I have to be abrupt. I should have the foundation of the Sangeetam. And apart from that, I should have my own style, so that I can keep molding whichever way that. So every day when I wake up in the morning, at 4 o'clock I wake up, no matter how late it is, I work on basics. And it teaches me that you're still a student. That's what SP is all about.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I think in singing, I mean, very often you hear that the little riyaz in the morning, that rigor you need. And I think that's important in anything that you want to excel in. Like what you say is the person, and that effort just brings out the best, right? And it's amazing, how. But I also think that people go through these journeys, right, and then they face challenges, right? Like in selection, being rejected is a big thing, right? I can imagine, and sometimes there are top players who you have to deny a position to make way for new. People feel differently about it. I'm sure you've seen that. I mean, both ways, as rejecting others and also being rejected in cricket, right? What is your thoughts on this? I know it's a very tough one, and but really from the core inside, how does one deal with it? What is it like? How has it been when you have to tell somebody? You feel sometimes it's a team. How do people go through it?
First of all, when I became selector, I ensured that all the other 4 selectors along with me, we are totally 5 selectors, that our job is cut out to select players, not to unselect players. Our job is to select players. Because from among the domestic cricket that we travel almost close to 220 days in a year to identify fresh talent. And then we filter them through a process. And we created we created a matrix of 60 players. And we keep watching all these 60 players, groom them from B to A to senior team like that. They come from different stages to that. So beyond this, it's not in our control. What is in our control is to look after these 60 players, because these are the best 60 players who have been doing for the last 2-3 years, and that's how you filtered. So we created a bench strength to each and every department. If Rohit Sharma is not fit, who is the next opener? XYZ is not fit, who is the next opener? I'll give you a small example. When Prithvi Shaw got injured in Australia, he was supposed to play a test match in MCG. So we created another shadow tour in New Zealand, and suddenly we flew in Mayank Agarwal from there to Melbourne. And first match he blasted the opposition. He was totally an unknown commodity. And that's how we start. We got a fantastic start. We built on that, and we won the test match and subsequently the test series. So it's about how honest you are about selecting these players. So you can't control the uncontrollables. What you can control is what is there in your hand. That's exactly what I felt that, And one more thing is, I always said this, and I passed on the baton to the other selectors, is it's not our job to drop somebody. Our job is only to select somebody. Now it's up to him to perform or get dropped. So you don't need to be worried about someone who is getting dropped, or you need to answer, because you've been very honest and you gave him a fair opportunity.
It's about bringing a higher thought to deal with a situation which can otherwise become differently.
It's your vibration which is also creating, na? So that vibration sometimes can become heavy for you.
Yes.
It's like, it also happens in corporate world. We're selecting somebody, we're asking someone to leave. Even for so many people to be able to ask someone to leave is very difficult for them to be able to say it. That's what the intent. We got you, we're grooming you, we're training you, we're ready to invest even more. But if that person beyond that also is not, then even in a place where you have to ask someone to leave. It's not about you're not good. It's not that about you're not good. It's just that you and me here are not coming into the right combination.
Correct.
So it's not, sometimes we criticize the other person whom we are asking them to leave, but it's not about that. It's just something about their karma and their sanskar, which is not right for this place or not fitting right for this place. And maybe they're going to go into the next place and create magic over there. So if you respect the person, then you're not rejecting the person. So we are not supposed to reject the person. The person and the activity is two different things. So even if you have to reject the work or the activity, you first appreciate and respect the person. So the person is very comfortable. So it's the innate vibration which is going from you to the other person. And then even if you have to ask them to leave, of course the person is not happy about it, but the person is not humiliated. The person is not rejected. So that rejection is not actually about losing a job or a role. It's about I got rejected. And that can sometimes remain like a trauma for people. It can remain with people for a lifetime that I was rejected. But if the person who's having to take the decision goes with this intent and vibration, this person is wonderful.
And it happens in relationships or relationship. It's such a critical thing. And it's funny, right? Like what you're saying, there are two people who are separating and there are three others waiting for those same people because there is it's journey in life and compatibility. And
so it's your thought which makes a difference about the person. So anyone who has to take this decision, they just have to understand, one, they are not deciding the destiny of the other person. You should not have that ego that humility is what is needed. That humility will not allow the other person to get hurt. But if you're going with that ego saying, you know what, I have the power. I can either keep you here or I can throw you out. It's that ego which is humiliating. So the energy of the decision maker is going to influence the other person. So people don't get hurt by losing jobs. They get hurt by the humiliation that they go through about losing the job. If you respect and hold that person like this, the person, even when they're going into the next job, they're going with self-worth. They're going with self-esteem. But if that crashes, then it's difficult to go into the next space. So separate the person from the role. So we say soul and role is different. Respect the soul and then talk about that role. But if you reject the soul, that's not very good karma.
Yeah. But in sport, right, it's so much about, like that role or skill or, that it's hard to bring this in, right? Especially when it comes to, so is that some change that you see happening? What can one do to make sure that, that change continues to happen in sport? And especially I'm talking to this because cricket is something that, no matter what you do, like I have a nephew, right? He'll play football, he'll play. In the end, the last half an hour before going to bed, would take a bat and play cricket. Cricket in India is just like so natural and, it attracts so many people, when it comes to these things, because not everybody is going to make it to, let's face it, to the national team. They're going to get to some place, right? And I agree, it's a selection, but how should people think about it? Take some learnings from cricket and apply it to elsewhere. How would you advise young people to think?
His own life is an example for it.
Yeah. So once a royal family in British, they were asked, what will you do to make your children mentally tough? He said, I'll make them play cricket. I think that sums it up. Because cricket is one sport. See, I think why we get connected with this sport is there are so many situations, there is so many challenges that keeps coming over a longer period of time. How one faces those challenges, how one comes out successful out of those challenges is something which is worth seeing. And we connect everything. I mean, this sport, what happened is because it's beautifully marketed by our board secretaries or whoever it is who run BCCI. This game has been very nicely marketed, very nicely packaged, and very nicely shown on TVs. So literally, the cricketers have become a household names in every house, and that's why if you talk about MS Dhoni, he feels that he's mere bacha hai. I know he is like, he's always residing in everybody's house because he resides in everybody's hearts. So that's how these people have become household names in this country. And more than anything else, there is so much the uncertainty in this game, which really makes this game very beautiful. And the people who succeed more often than not goes on to become role models, especially in the country.
Yeah, no, I know, because we have this team in the Maharashtra Premier League, Ratnagiri Jets, and we always then start investing in grassroots Maharashtra talent. And today, one of our players, Kiran Chormole, debuted for the India Under-19.
Wow!
And we can see him
Congratulations.
go strong. Many of our players are playing for Maharashtra teams and others. And we are so deeply invested in not only the career but the emotions of all these people. Because I think that is what. How do you strengthen them that, this is not, but you'll go on to do much better in whatever you do because of that experience. Yeah, I think that's the sport. What are some of the other things that people can do to build this, inner resilience, inner strength that will help them in whatever else one does?
So that's something that starts. Parenting should have all that. And that's what we talk to parents. Don't do fragile parenting. See, cricket, you can't be fragile over there. You will go through success, you will go through failure, you will go through acceptance, you will go through rejection. But then they go through it all. So that's a part of their resilience. Similarly, a child should also be going through all this. The child should go through all this. But if we keep that child very protected, everything is going to be your way, you will never have to face any difficulty. Parent has a very pure intention, but you're actually making the child emotionally weak. So let the child fall, let the child get up, let the child get hurt, let the child face rejection. Because if you're facing it at that childhood thing, it's not going to be something major in your life, but it's creating your sanskar of to being able to face that thing which eventually can happen in life. But if you protect them so much and say, life will always be perfect, we'll give you everything your way, whatever you want will happen, we will not say a no to you, thinking that that's good for you, it's actually making them weaker. And also what we are doing so much in parenting today is focusing on children learning to making choices, which is very good. I want my child to learn how to make choices. But then what happens on the other side? You allow your child to always make the choices. But life will not always allow you to make the choices. So along with learning how to make a choice, the ability to face that which was not my choice. So that part gets ignored because the child is allowing to make choices in everything in life. So those things have to start right from very early. That no, even if you've chosen this, you're not going to get this. So that child will cry, scream, shout, not talk to you. That's okay. Let him cry today. Let him not cry in life. Let him have to listen to those no's and not get everything. Because in no profession, in nowhere are you going to get life always your way. So who's going to create that sanskar? If I've never bent, I cannot suddenly bend at the age of 20, 25. That's when that's when it's not working out right.
Yeah, and it's not only the situations that are not your choices, but the reactions to the choices that you have made. Like, of course, you said when you became selector, national selector, everybody said,
I was always on the team for wrong reasons.
Because every person in India is a selector. When I'm saying, oh, this guy is so good, how could he have made this one? When a match is going on, we're saying, oh, why you didn't send him to bowl now? They should have done, everybody's a captain, everybody's a selector because you're so, part of it. How did you deal with these situations?
See, basically, I don't find fault with our people questioning us because this is a national burning issue. A burning issue in everybody's house. This is a household. Apart from whatever that happens in the house, this is one more issue that we keep fighting. Even between two brothers also, one will support Rohit, other will support Virat. You can see that fight and all. So it's undoubtedly an issue. See, when it comes to us, the second thing that first I told about how we have to work hard to my co-selectors. The second thing I requested all of them is to shut themselves off from the outer world. Because if you're honest about going about your job, if you're sincere about going about your job, you don't need to answer anybody. You need to answer your consciousness. See, there were times where there was a huge pressure on. I still remember a couple of selectors had a heavy pressure because it is very natural that if I'm supported by my particular state, that state administrators expect that you will do justice to his state players, which is very natural. I mean, we can't hide this fact because if they are the people who supported you, and if you don't listen to them, you never know next year whether you're there in the job or not. But I assured all of them that if such thing happens, all five will resign together.
Yeah, beautiful.
We will resign together, but we will stand by one word. If you see during our tenure in 5 years, not even one selector spoke anything untoward things. All five of us spoke the same language, same values, because we are very, very honest. Because one of the selector who has gone through that pressure came and told me that I have a pressure to sell. This is what it is. I said one thing, let your secretary speak to me. I'll answer. You tell him that I am not in favor of that particular and ask him to call me. I'll answer on your behalf. He went and told. That person never called. And slowly, this calling business has come down. And they started believing that, especially when I first spoke on when I became a chairman, the secretary, Ajay Shirke sir from Maharashtra, he was the secretary. After the meeting, he said, after the press conference, he said, till this press conference, I was not sure whether we picked the right chairman. But the idea, the plans that you have explained to the media really made me proud because I am one of those who made you the chairman. So, because I always feel that, honesty always prevails. If not today, tomorrow. I'm 100% sure that's how we went up.
They always worked in that manner. And I think at the end of the day is the outcome.
The ability to not fear losing something allows you to stand strong on your rights and your ethics. And that's where you need detachment from your achievement. So if I'm attached to my achievement, attachment always comes with fear. So if I'm attached, I always fear losing that. And if I fear losing that, I will succumb to pressure. Whether it's pressure of people, whether it's pressure of situations, whether it's pressure of what public is saying about you in any profession. And so because you don't want to lose that, you will mold your ways. And when you mold it, you will compromise on your energy. You will even compromise on your ethics sometimes. But if you don't have the fear of losing, we say, and that's why surrender is very important. This has come your way, beautifully, do it. Tomorrow, if it's not supposed to be with you, perfect.
Something better.
Detached. Detached. Only that detachment to that achievement will allow you to stand like this and say, all of us will resign together. This is a very big statement.
Yeah.
Who's ready to resign? I've become the chairman of the selection board. Why will I resign just because you're under pressure? No. This is, these are all these certain very, very simple things which no academy will teach you all this. And that innate sanskar of the person. And that must have given so much strength to the rest of the people of that team. So one person standing on their principles without fearing losing everything that they have got gives the power to everybody else to start. So that becomes a leadership quality, that you have the power to empower because you are detached from your achievement. You prioritize your karma above your achievement. You prioritize your principles and ethics above your achievement. I'm ready to let go of this, but not ready to let go of this. This is success. This is only achievement. So for your success, you should be ready to let go of achievement. Success is here. Achievement is here. That is what makes you as a person. So that's going to take you to
Correct. No, and then the achievement automatically comes. So in your selection here,
yes,
I think India for the first time won the Border Gavaskar Trophy, which just concluded. And so many good things happen when you were, the national selectors. So I think achievement also automatically kind
sometimes
of
it might not also. See, again, because everybody's situations will be different. But if you have to choose between the two, so it might not always happen that things might work in my favor. Like in this case also, it could have happened that situations came in a way where all five had to resign. That can also happen. It can happen. We can't always say that no, achievement will work for you. It might not. But even then, if you prioritize your ethics over your achievement, then whatever you do next, you're going to go with more power in. Now, this power gives you the strength to face criticism, appreciation, rejection, everything. So power, this fitness is also created in a very different manner. So if you just remain detached to your achievement, you'll never compromise on your values and principles for any pressure that's coming to you, for any pressure from anyone. And that's power.
What are the values that you value the most?
You have to be, first and foremost thing is, you have to be honest to yourself. Probably that's what made me a player, but that's what made me a director for Andhra Cricket, where we molded Andhra Cricket into a role model association for the country. Two things, and the second thing, and subsequently even as a chairman. During my childhood days, my father said that this life is like bicycle. It has got two wheels, honesty and integrity. These are the two principles which will propel you for the rest of your life. All through our journey in our life, like Ben said that, there are ways you could have molded yourself to suit to the conditions. We couldn't never deviate from those two things that my father instilled in me. By sticking to these principles, I had a lot of flack from many sections of people or my own people, because as if I am not doing anything from my own people, or there's so many things that has come by. But at every given point of time, we have always reached a different milestone because of these two, sticking to those two principles. There is always somebody who is hand-holding me at every stage of my life. I don't know if it comes from different forms, different names.
These values have helped shape Indian cricket.
Yep.
I'm sure, through your role. Like, what would you say, have been the biggest, defining changes for Indian cricket, right? I mean, through all these roles, where these values have actually, one can say, this is why, maybe it was a selection of some young player who has played really well. Anything you would like to share, or you can share?
When it comes to values, I mean, we can split it into two parts. One is about the team values. I think people might like or might not like. I felt that Virat is one person who's hell-bent on in winning Test cricket and want to take the team to number one status across all foreign. In fact, in his captaincy, we reached all three formats. We might not have won the World Cups, like Ben said, that it has got postponed and got into the other people's hands, But it is Virat who built the winning culture in the side. If you see Anna, he used to say this, Anna, वो ऐसे तो हम लोग खड़े नहीं क्यों नहीं खड़े सकते, उनको मुंह तोड़ जवाब देना. I mean, he's a different perspective altogether. He's always at your face, not only just about oppositions, even at you also. He will look through your eyes. He's that kind of a person who built that winning culture. That's the reason why we won that BGT trophy, or we went on to be the number one team across the formats. And when it comes to selection, I think one selection that gives you so much of happiness is Rishabh Pant. Because this kid, we selected him for England India A series, and subsequently from there he got selected. Not many people believed that he can don whites for Indian team, the brand of cricket that he plays. But I had a different eye towards him. People said that I can't see him keeping wickets for India. But I had a different thought. In the sense, all five of us, we had a different thought. And when we picked him, people laughed at us. His first test match, he took 10 catches. And his second test match, he gets a century and becomes the only wicketkeeper batsman in the history of Indian cricket to get 100 there. And he got hundreds in all Sena countries. Not even the great MSD or the greats of the past have done that. He's the only wicketkeeper batsman in the history of the game who got runs in South Africa, England, New Zealand and Australia. So I think that selection really gives us a lot of pride and the resilience that you're talking about when he got. I mean, one of the characters that we realized, we might have not realized if that accident wouldn't have happened to him. After the accident, the way he came back, that is also one of the biggest stories. When you look back, I think it really gives you a lot of satisfaction.
No, and I think this will go down in history books because, that accident, the whole story is unbelievable and very. And we're going to continue to see and hear unbelievable things from you going forward as well. And, as you want to talk a little bit about your academy as well?
Academy, I mean, it's not just about me or for any coaches who wants to start academy. It's actually, I'll tell you a small example. One of the kid, I think he's 6 years old. He comes to me and he says, "Sir, yesterday you are wearing Nike socks under your pant. Today you are wearing Puma socks under your pant." I was shocked to see. I didn't even realize that. But this kid has noticed you so much. That means you are a role model for him. So whatever you do, eventually you can see the reflection on those kids. So for any guru or any coach, it's very, very important to uphold those values because these are the values that your wards are going to carry on for generations together. So I feel that, to me or to my fellow coaches or for anybody who wants to start academy, it's very, very important to have values because it is the values which will really take your kids to each next level. So.
No, I think very, very important. And it's reaffirmation of that, piece. So we'll go into our mindful minute, and what's the hardest to select for? Test matches, T20, ODI, and why?
I think all are alike. I mean, maybe if you want to rate it, I think it's the order will be Test, ODI, and T20. Why is because Test cricket is something which is a purest form of game, and in the current generation, where everybody is moving towards white ball cricket, moving towards the shorter formats, it's very difficult to find those cricketers who used to grind, and that's exactly what happened in the recent BGT trophy. You missed somebody of that particular format. I mean, people slowly are moving because if you play Ranji Trophy, the amount that you get compared to the guy who plays an IPL, basic contract is actually alike. If you get 1,000 runs in Ranji Trophy also, but if somebody plays IPL and gets a basic contract of 30 lakhs, this guy getting all 1,000 runs and playing throughout the season is very similar. So slowly, game is moving towards that white ball cricket. That's the reason, but again, when we were there, we put up a proposal that the Test cricket revenue has to really go up. The Ranji Trophy revenue has to really go up. At least, someone who's not getting this IPL contract can still sustain playing a Ranji Trophy format. But going forward, it's very, very difficult to get cricketers who will play hours and hours and grind the situations and play red ball cricket. So it's the biggest challenge for any selectors to find that kind of that blend of players who can play all three formats. Yeah.
From cricket, we go back to spirituality, and I'm going to ask you a funny kind of a question. If you had to be a batter, bowler, wicket keeper, you can't say all rounder. What would you be?
I think I'm just doing that in life, no? You're batting throughout the day, whatever life situations throwing towards you, that's the only thing which you're doing. You just need to know that it's coming to you and you should be able to hit it. That's all. Be ready for whatever kind of ball is coming to you, I guess.
There you go. So you resonate with what most people want.
No, but in life, not on the game. In life, yeah.
No, but even in the game, right, batting is always, many people get drawn first and, they look at it because, as he said, you have to, like we've been discussing, like you would take life also from a position of surrender and enjoy every situation that comes. Right? It is truly a sport. It's a game. One has to look at it in that context. So this conversation we are having is not a serious one. Life is to be enjoyed. It is to have fun. It is like a sport. It is like a game. But most people play it under You can play a cricket match under tremendous pressure and be totally unhappy, and you will not perform well. Absolutely same way in your real life. If you say, "Oh my God, I've got this problem," that you will automatically get no. So I think it's all about life in sport, and I think today's conversation has been so much about living life joyfully, living in the moment, working as a game. The harder and the more pressure you take while you're playing a sport, you definitely don't perform. I think the same thing applies to life. So you have to ease your life, you have to play it. Even Sister Shivani wants to bat. Yeah. So I think, you take something that comes your way and do the best you can and, continue to move forward. But, I want to end this mindful minute with asking you the last question. M.S.K, if you had to, go back and become a cricketer again and start, from that conversation that you had with Dad, what role would you still play? What would you still be?
I feel I'll still be wicketkeeper because wicketkeeper is only one guy in the team. The rest all 10 guys. So he's always a unique guy. And the second thing is, as a wicketkeeper, you are always, all the 540 balls, you have to concentrate and receive every ball. Maybe very similar to in life. I think there's a long way to go in life to understand the life and different perspectives because this quest will keep on going. So I'll receive whatever that comes as a good wicketkeeper with soft hands. Like Didi has already batted. She hit, so I'll still want it to be a wicketkeeper because we are always in the quest of knowledge.
So by default, I'll be the bowler. And I will
That's
try
what
and
you've
get
been
to
doing
her and to you.
Okay. So all of us will come in action.
This is the team coming together. Then this is life. And this is the joyful part of cricket, of India, of people in India, of the young energy and the potential, I think, of what we can be. If we can just build that true inner resilience,
Exactly.
be more mindful about what we do and just build a great, society. And again, thank you, for being here and wish you all the best in everything that you're doing as your academy. You have the Hidden Sprouts of Visakhapatnam, which is dealing with mentally challenged children. Good luck in that. IPL commentary, whatever else you go on to do. And we are all here cheering for you all along the way.
It's a great
Thank you so
pleasure.
much for being here.
Thank you,
Sister Shivani, as always,
Shivani.
for a wonderful session. You too can start or enhance your mindfulness journey using the ThinkRight app on iOS and Android store. It's got a huge number of daily affirmations, daily journeys, daily meditations that will enable us to hold your hand as you move in this transformative journey of life.